Welcome back to Living Simply and Fun. Tonight is our second review. We will be reviewing the Garzilla. Now, look at that monster from that point of view.
Just be careful because, as you know, these have horrible construction.
Thanks to Johnny Sticks for this wonderful donation. We will be sampling this.
And as you know, our last cigar was a 4x42. So we decided we'd go with, what is this? This is the 6.2 by 83 Garzilla.
I think when they made this, they made the tobacco bulge out.
This is going to be interesting because I think this is going to fall apart. But
if it falls apart, we will be giving you a decent review on it, whether it's good, bad, or
we will try to smoke it no matter how hard this thing gets to smoke. That's
First
the way
of all,
we go.
I can see there is splits on the wrapper and the seams, and it's cracking, and we've humidified this properly.
And it was humidified properly by Johnny Sticks before we got it. How I had it humidified, I don't know. This literally looks beaten to a pulp. It does have on the band here a interesting snakeskin pattern. It's obvious they're talking about like serpents, etc. on here. If you notice on the band Rita, you can see that it looks like it's entwined around. But gonna go ahead and see what I can tell you here. No scent off the wrapper.
Exactly, I agree. There's nothing on this wrapper.
Almost nothing either off the foot.
Now, Johnny
Sticks, is a big foot.
Johnny Sticks knows I love large cigars.
This was based off a challenge that we said we would attempt to smoke anything sent to us. And so, yeah, the 83 ring gauger. We will attempt to smoke it. And we look forward to it, just like the egg. So I'm going to remove this first band here.
I'm fixing the wrapper. Mine's dry. It feels like it's over dry.
It feels very dry.
This might just go up like a tinder box. We'll let you know more.
Well, it looks better from this end. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and try to toast this thing. It might take an hour. That was sarcasm there.
Whoops, wrong lighter, by the way, for you sisterhoods of lilies. Thank you, Amy, for sending us an email on a question. We are greatly appreciative of our subscribers and fans who contact us about it. Now, for some of you out there, I'm going to say, and I have my cousin who I think watches my channel, Corey, do not try this at home. You are an amateur.
Oh yeah, torn leaf is going to be a real problem. It's already just trying to stick to my lips and pull off. Almost no flavor coming from this whatsoever. Dang. My lighter's about to overheat.
Just so you know, I got half the cigar lit. Half.
Yeah. No flavor. And a lot of places are saying this is no novelty now. And look at that. Just a couple puffs, and I'm already that far into it. This is probably going to be a lot faster burning of a smoke than I thought. For those who, because I didn't say yet, this is an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder and Nicaraguan long fillers. It is the Garzilla from Tacasa Tobacco, which is run by Carlos and Chris Sanchez, who also make cult cigars. This is listed as a medium-bodied cigar so far. I'm going to say very mild.
I'm going to say it's mild, and I'm picking up hints of toastiness. That's it, toast. Toasty oats, grains, malts, hops, and nuts. That's it. Ground into the cigar so far.
I'm kind of getting a, if any flavor at all, kind of a grassy flavor. And there's no way I could fit this in my mouth. I'd have to have a mouth twice the size of mine now to hold this proper. And then I'd have a very odd-looking mouth. Wow. That puts off a lot of heat. You're puffing in my face and I can feel it heat up. It's like...
Sorry, I just wanted to...
You could cook... You could probably fry an egg underneath this. Just...
I am going to tell you, Aaron's completely right. As you can see, the wrapper is cracking. So fixing it might help. Fixing it might not help.
Well, this is going to be a nice long smoke.
Oh,
that's for sure.
And these are so big they don't fit in ashtrays.
No. You could get your cigar rester. It would fit in that. Just don't drop that thing on my head. It does fit in that. But where do you hold your... you could put it in the center of your ashtray, probably. It would probably stand there. Well, I have a feeling this is going to burn very uneven throughout, but will it get wonky? I don't know.
I already got wonky, but that's because
No, that's just uneven. Let that be.
Well, all I can say is stay tuned for the halfway point, and this is 6.2 by 83.
So we'll see you in 3.1. Hey, add a 4 to that, and it's pie. Hello, and welcome to the halfway point of this Garzilla. My eyes burn. Yes, we are actually not even an hour in and halfway. This is a 6.2 by 83 ring gauge. That should have taken 2 hours.
Look right there at the camera. Look how much cracking I got right there. And that's not the tip.
Should have taken 2 hours to get to this point. It's been an hour. We're not over puffing. In fact, I don't have much of an ash there. Not much of a cone. The entire back end ripped off. It did not stay on. It's cracked horribly. The cigar has been a construction nightmare. It has not had canoes or burns on me. It's actually been pretty razor sharp for me. I've had one big fix.
So did I. One big fix.
But other than that, it's been burning pretty good. The flavors of this, very, very mild. There's one other review of this that says, it is peppery. He also had the construction errors. In fact, his was even worse than ours. I feel for you there, Mike. But, anyways, the flavors in this, maybe a slight hop flavor. It kind of has a beerish taste to it. Maybe just a tad bit of wood, but nothing really other than that. There's no pepper, no earth, maybe some minor garlicky.
I'm picking up light cedar. That's about it. However, as I was going to say, I think when they decided to make this cigar in general, aim at a different direction.
Sorry.
It basically, yeah, it is burning my nose and eyes.
Well, it's because everything in here has gotten really smoky.
The other thing I wanted to say about it is when they decided to design this particular stogie.
And it's also your AC. It's sucking it in your direction. I'm watching on the camera.
Would you just let me finish? Or are you just going to sit there and yap?
I tried to blow it away. You obviously got irritated again. And I was like, well, it's not my fault.
Anyways, the other problem is I think when they made this cigar, no offense to me snapping at him, I apologize. It is smoky. My eyes are burning to no end. That my wrapper is holding together. There's a crack. It starts here and it goes to here, like going across the United States from LA to New York. And right now I feel the wrapper is the only thing holding down the outer wrapper of this cigar.
You mean San Francisco to New York? Need for Speed the Run. If you've played it, you get the idea. It's about a race, essentially, that takes place from San Francisco to New York cross-country. And it's a very popular term for when a cigar starts burning down the edge. We've both had runs. So, this cigar, yeah.
Let's just...
I hope that I can handle another hour of this, because it's a very uneventful, very ho-hum cigar. The flavors are very even and flat and not very changing and not very interesting, and I wouldn't recommend it at this point. At this point, I would say that this is a total failure of a cigar, and I usually like everything from Cult. So, okay, I've only had 2 cigars from Cult so far. So.
Alright, so my opinion is this, is when they made this cigar, I think they overloaded to tobacco, making it as soon as you light, the outer wrapper starts to crack like no end.
I think that to be honest, here's what my thought is. I think Tacasa rolled a bunch of these. Didn't give 2 dings about them. They thought that it'd be cool, a nice little novelty, had a bunch of them sitting in the warehouse, moved them aside for this blend, moved them aside for that blend. They may have been in the worst part of the entire warehouse or whatever for, humidification. They may have dried out horribly there. And then somebody said, hey, great idea, let's put these on the market. Big ring gauges are in. So they ended up pulling them all out and starting to send them around, but they're not selling well. So they're sitting there drying and drying and drying because, to be serious, an 83 ring gauge, it's not something that's going to take the cigar market by storm. It's something that's going to be passed around as a novelty. And although sites say, oh, it's not a novelty, that's because they're trying to get you to buy it as if it might be an everyday smoke. There's no way that this could be an everyday smoke. Not like this, no.
The price is too high for one, for that cigar.
What is the price on this?
$8.80.
$8.80 per stick. Well, that's not too bad for the size. But as I said, this burns too quick so far. I'm even being ginger with my ginger. And
like I said, I think the wrapper here, the label, is holding the rest of the cigar together. I told Aaron I didn't think the wrapper would hold together, but so far it has.
Yeah, we're going to see when we end up pulling off this wrapper whether that wrapper will affect things or not. But to this point, I could literally call this a failure already.
My apologies.
I'm going to suffer through this just so I could let you know how the final.
My apologies. I wanted something to drink, so I'm drinking something called yogurt smoothie. But as Aaron said, we will both suffer through it. Now, we
tried to suffer through the egg. Unfortunately, that didn't want to work because the wrapper wanted to just fall off, and then it just wanted to fall apart. And then
again, I think, like Aaron said in the egg video, they produced these cigars, got them out, and the developer and makers of these cigars didn't give a damn. And they
as I said with these, I think they actually produced them thinking it'd be a great idea, and then just stuck them in the back of their warehouse because these are horribly, horribly dry.
The boys over at Desert Smoke Review, Monty in particular, would say this is a gimmicky cigar, and I agree completely.
It is nice and smoky. It does have a nice ease of draw. But because the back end fell off mine and I lost my hole punch, I now actually have to try to stick this whole thing in my mouth, which is giving me a bit of a workout too.
I'm trying to hold my cigar together as best possible because my back does want to come out. And if it laughs, well, we'll be lucky, you know, so.
I mean, this was the back end of my cigar.
Don't make me laugh.
Well, that's serious. This was the cap. It's not anymore. But this is very, very thin, and it's very brittle. It's just...
As I said to Aaron, I think...
It doesn't take much to pull it apart. They should have put a much thicker wrapper on this to make sure that it would hold together. It would also have kind of kept it from burning.
That's why I think when they built this cigar, they used a thin wrapper, crammed as much tobacco in it to make it be a 83. And as Aaron said...
somebody may say that a thinner wrapper is more pliable and therefore easier to stick more tobacco in, but once you've wrapped it with one, you could always wrap it with a secondary one. There are twin wrappers and things like that. In my opinion, this just was not wrapped very well. It wasn't rolled very well.
This was a failure, plain and simple.
Yeah. But we'll get to you in the final third. So we'll see you in a few seconds. It's probably going to take us about another hour. Hello, and welcome back to the final third of this garbage. I mean Zilla. Anyways, as you can see, here's mine. Split, falling apart, split. Now, Rita, you show yours. I don't have any place to put mine. That's binder right there. The wrapper split and is falling off. It's burning all funny. Yeah, Rita was about to go throw this in the toilet because it's barely smokable now. I will continue to try to smoke mine. This is only 35 minutes after we last saw you, so this whole cigar, roughly an hour and 35 minutes for Rita. For me, probably about 2 hours when I finish it. Now, got to talk about a few other things. The ash on this, it is powdery soft. It falls apart. The reason for that is although there's all this tobacco, there's also a lot of space between the tobacco. And as the tobacco burns, it burns into this fine ash because it's burning so hot and so quick that the air between it allows it to get very fine. And so it just kind of falls off. It is messy. It literally, I could barely blow on this and like 3 or 4 flakes will fall off. It's getting hot to this point. Nice smoke output though. And Rita's still in there trying to figure out how to get this thing into the toilet. Rita, did it clog the toilet?
I don't know.
Well, anyways. I guess now
I pulled the thing off, alright? Let me explain it. I pulled the main binder off because I couldn't fix it. I went in there to try to lightly fix it, and the thing exploded everywhere. Just went into the toilet. I was like...
Fell apart. So...
Do I recommend this cigar? Hell no.
Well, first I want to try to talk about the flavors. What flavors there are borderline obnoxious. They are not extremely pleasant flavors. It borderlines on wood, but that's about as close as it gets to any flavor. However, the marriage of the flavors, which is wood, is chaotic. it does not want to blend well with itself. I'm sorry, one flavor tone does not want to marry well with itself. It wants to. The flavors go from harsh to mild to medium to mild, but that's about it. It just hops all over the place. This is not a cigar I'd recommend. Not even just as a novelty joke because, well, it's obnoxious. I mean, yeah, I guess you could do something like I was joking about with the egg challenge. You could try to do a Garzilla challenge. Just try to make it through it. But, you know, more or less post a video and show how horrible yours is and see who has the most horrible one. That might be an idea. I'm sorry, but this is a failure. Big thumbs down. I don't recommend it. Overpriced garbage is what it essentially is.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I suppose if you just love the flavor of sawdust and you really, really, really like the taste of sawdust, go ahead and buy yourself one of these.
Before you log off, I have something.
Don't expect this to be a lengthy cigar by any means. I've had Robustos that burn just as long that have tons of more flavor for lower prices. This is a novelty.
Gimmick.
It's a gimmick.
I have something to say, so.
And Rita has something more to say, even though she's playing solitaire.
I'm not playing solitaire. I'll be right there. I told you to be right there. I'm doing something. Can't a woman do something without having any trouble?
By the way, the retro hail on this burns and is not very nice. It's very nasty and very tart. It stings a bit. That's not a very good retro hail. Watch out for my glasses, please. If you keep going in and out and in and out.
First, I want to say that in my humble opinion, the cigar was a failure. Secondly, in the last half of the review, didn't I say that I told you outright, Aaron, and the viewers, I believe, that once you remove the wrapper, the entire thing's going to fall apart.
Once that wrapper came off, both of ours cracked in half. I licked mine back together, and it's holding, but barely. And mine's really only a couple puffs away from just falling apart itself, and that's kind of got me bothered. But I think this has gone from an 83 ring gauge to about an 85 because it's not held together by a wrapper anymore.
And the heat's expanding it.
Exactly. I think mine has gone up to an 85 ring gauge. I can barely fit it in my mouth, and I was able to a little bit earlier. The other bad thing about this is a standard ashtray for holding your cigar. This will not fit. There's really almost no way to rest this cigar. This is about the closest you could get to resting it is a cigar rest. But when you're over a carpet, that doesn't exactly work. If we were out at our table, I would be using it. But I've had to hold this hot thing the whole time. So
I don't recommend it. It's a failure. And before I go, for some of you loyal subscribers out there, I'm smoking in this pipe Dunhill Nightcap to get the nasty flavors of that cigar out of my mouth.
At least we had that really nice firecracker earlier. And this was to offset it by going from something really small to something really big. And yeah, thumbs down. Don't get the Garzilla. Total waste of money. If you have a chance to get one free, take it.
Thanks, Johnny Sticks, for a fine review.
We greatly appreciate the opportunity to have gotten to review this Garzilla Colossal cigar, because it's called the Colossus, this Vitola. And heck, as we said, we will review anything that's sent to us, including Garzilla. But yeah,
I will let you know.
It's thankful
My
that Rita
theory-
usually likes large ring gauge cigars, and
I
that's
will-
why it was gotten for us in the first
I will
place.
let you all know when I smoked the 6x80 Asylum. It's not the Ogre. It's not a barber pole.
That's the Asylum 13
6
80
by
ring
80
gauge.
And there is an 8x80. I want to say that if it falls apart, I'm going to say right now in this video for the end that it is the size that's making it fall apart.
The only cigar that I have had that's 70 ring gauge or higher that has actually been good has been the Log. That cigar was a fantastic cigar. So it is possible to get huge ring gauge cigars that are good. This one is not one of them. Sorry, Tacasa Cigars. As much as I like the Cult Box Press, this and the Blood Red Moon, this is not.
Now, for some of you out there that tried the longer version of the Garzilla in 7.5 by 75, tell us if its construction holds up in the comments below.
And I really want
hear.
to try also from Tacasa Cigars the Culebra, which is 3 cigars wrapped together in a coil. They're each one a different wrapper, and I want to cut all 3 of them and try to smoke them together. It's recommended to try to smoke them that way. I think that it would be an oddity to attempt to do.
He doesn't like the price tag.
No, $20 a stick. But anybody who's like, I want to see a review of that, well, be more than happy to.
Now I can make the joke, even though we were called moochers a while ago by our friends at DSR. Now I can say, because he said he wants to try it, there's Aaron the Mooch.
Well, here's part of my thought too, is we actually spend quite a bit of money on cigars to try to bring something for you at least several times a month. And sometimes it's not exactly cost effective to try to do. And luckily we've had a couple benefactors recently who have sent us some stuff. Actually, we're the benefactor. Our beneficiary? One of those terms. Sorry, my English isn't great. I'm horrible at it. But because of things like that, because of our viewers who, and some of these tobacco companies like Isabella who appreciate what we do, it helps us to continue to bring you stuff. So it's not exactly in some ways mooching, but it is mooching. So it's hard to feel any other way. But sometimes I can make an exception, like that Culebra. I am not going to order from the only company I know of that happens to have it. I just have no reason to do business with cheap humidors. It's the only company I know that carries it. So maybe somebody out there's gotten some as a free sample, as a gimmick or something, and they don't really want to bother smoking it, and it's too big in their humidor and they want to get rid of it. Well, we're here.
I just want to say I'm envy, and I'm actually blessed. Johnny Sticks has been a good friend. I'm envy, but I'm also saying he's an awesome person. But I would love to try and smoke his only 18 by 66 cheap.
That would be
Indio's
all
cheap.
on you.
Yeah, I'd probably turn green too. Your dad did after I gave him the Flor de Oliva 10 by 66.
Flor de Oliva. Yeah, 10 by 66 Flor de Oliva. Saw somebody smoking one of those today on Cigar Cartel. By the way, shout out to the C2 out there. If you're watching, thanks for turning in. So, with that said, please add and subscribe, leave questions, comments, feedbacks, concerns. If you've smoked one of these and you've had a totally different experience, or you agree with us, whatever, go ahead and leave your thoughts. Just keep it nice is all we ask, and enjoy every puff.
Hey, before you go, just to let you know about that real quick, this pipe tastes a lot better than that
I do wish this had more flavor in it.
Garbagezilla.
Garbagezilla, yes. All right. Well, thank you.